Hola a todos y bienvenido a otro episodio de Esencia, Latina Wellness Podcast. I'm your host, Katherine Castro, and today we have a gem of an episode that you don't want to miss. I'm sitting down with artist, entrepreneur, creative muse, joy instigator, and speaker Grace Harry to discuss why living with joy is so important. And not only is it good for you, it's a good idea, but it's your birthright. Welcome, I was just going to call you Joy.
Yeah, good.
Because to me, I think you do embody that. But welcome, Grace, to Esencia. So nice to finally have you here.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here.
What a pleasure. So, okay, let's talk about your journey. You've been in the entertainment industry for 30 years.
Yes.
How was that experience for you? And how did that lead you a way of joy?
That's right. Thank you. What was interesting is that I was a New Yorker, a New York teenager. And in the late 80s, and when you were into anything, everyone kind of paired off into their interest. Now it's more segregated in terms of you like this kind of music or you like this thing. So everyone who was doing interesting creative things all hung out at these secret clubs downtown New York. And now I'm 13, 14, 15, sneaking into all these clubs. And I met a whole bunch of artists who were becoming rappers. And they were from outer borough, and they were doing something very different because hip-hop at the time was very about the culture where you came from. And they were starting to use music from different cultures. They all lived suburban in Long Island and Queens, and they became my friends. And I don't know if I realized that I had a skill, a talent before that. And I started talking to all these artists who had made music, but didn't have the cultural references to create the videos and the visuals. And these artists all became huge artists later, but on all their first projects, from De La Soul to Tribe Called Quest, and all of the native tongues, I worked with them. Didn't even realize there was an entire industry around it. So when they all got record labels, and Q-Tip at the time was my boyfriend, I started helping them figure out how to untangle that conversation in the world and using my love of film and my love of passion to be a part of it. So I thought that's what the music industry was. It was creative people enjoying themselves and making music from their heart, making passionate creation. But then I started to lean into the music industry, and literally one of the first executives said to me, if you like music, this isn't the business for you. Because they saw it very different. They saw it as a product, and they saw it as a thing. So now this creative passion and this community coming together for art, for love, was a job and a business. And I was a 10th grade high school dropout. My mother had moved to Haiti when I was 17. So I just started leaning into my career. Started chefing and worked at the Cosby Show, and then became an intern at the publicity department at MCA Records, and started to notice that there was a big discrepancy in that if you're a brand like Coca-Cola, you create a concept around yourself so that a consumer is bought into the emotions of that. And that became my brand of creative development. And I started working with artists from Rihanna to Mariah Carey to tons of artists. And every time a new artist would come to my office, I would say, well, what was your vision the first time you saw yourself as an artist? What is this? What's the activism of this gift to the world? But I started successing instead of creating. And I found myself at the top of this industry. I'm now at Island Def Jam Mercury. I built my own production company. I have a big staff. And we're working really hard to put numbers on the table, numbers on the board. But I felt that in my life, I had lost the real concept of why I was even doing this. Creativity and passion. And to me, the spark. And to something about that felt false. Something about that felt false. And then I take a look back, and as I was just talking with Maria, I'm noticing that so many of us now are big in, I'm now on marriage number 2, things are not working. I have children that I'm not seeing as much as I want to see. I'm living this life. And I one time went to a Guru Jagat experience, and she said, the biggest mistake we make is that we live in success and not in creation. And I was completely doing that. Then I met a man. He's an artist. He brought an artist in to sign named Justin Bieber, this 14-year-old kid. And so I met Usher. And we started dating. I got married. I became his manager. I started running his career. And from the outside, people thought my world was aspirational. But I was dying inside.
I have felt moments, and I know we've all gone through this, where the joy which made you start in it initially, that dream, that thing, that spark of life, it's a spark of life. Once you're in it, you start losing it because it's like one thing after the other, and it feels heavy.
Yeah.
And you feel that in your soul.
Yes. And I feel that's a popular thing because when we're young, we experiment and we play and we feel very committed to shaking our leg or spinning around in a circle or stopping in the middle of the street to sing a song. But the older we get, I call it kind of the prom queen syndrome or the ex-quarterback syndrome.
Right.
You have a big experience and you think it's it. And so now you're spending the rest of your life trying to keep it. But there's nothing in the world that allows us to do that. Everything in nature ebbs and flows, including ourselves.
Absolutely.
And so being so committed to that misery and that pain is really what we're doing. So I quit all of it and went on a personal exploration of my life to reparent, go back to the beginning, and figure out where I lost that energy, that spark, that passion.
Where did you lose it? Were you able to figure that out?
Yes, I did figure it out. And it's kind of what I'm talking about. You know, we're all born to these amateur first-time parents. And that's not a criticism of them.
Of course.
It's just that, are we missing the real magic of creation of anything? Is it that we're supposed to be these all-knowing people that tells these young, open vessels what they are? You're good at math. You like this. You're pretty. You're not. Or are we supposed to, like Rudolf Steiner, the Austrian philosophy, get out of their way and allow them to, and then as they do that, we are supposed to be reminded, this is our rebirth when you parent a company, a child, a business, a new relationship. We're now different. And we don't ever give ourselves the ritual of seeing that and opening up to it. So when I went on that exploration, I couldn't access joy. I felt very joyless. And so I decided to go back to being a kid and seeing myself in moments. And I remember I went back to Brooklyn, where I was raised, and I went to the park I grew up near in Brooklyn Heights, and I got on a tire swing, and when I lifted up into the air, I felt it again.
Yes.
And I made that my commitment for the rest of my days, to be in tune with my own joy and really follow my heart as a guide and share that with everybody else, with everybody I come in contact with.
Okay, so let's talk about joy.
Yeah.
Can you define, or what is joy for you?
Yes, I love this question because so many words get co-opted. You know, there was a time we used different words, now they mean different things.
Yes.
And happy is now, to me, a business concept. Like, are you happy? What does that really mean? But joy is the frequency of your heart. And if you listen to the word courage, if you break down the word courage, it has the French word cœur in it. And cœur means heart. So the truth of courage is the bravery to tell the story of your own heart. Oh, good. I love goosebumps. Good. I love it. So that's what it is. And so we take it as a frivolous thing. But if we know that when we're working in a company, if it loses its magic, it's gone. But why don't we see that in our own selves? We ourselves are a mini empire that needs the same strategy as anything else to grow, to evolve, to be new, to be looked at, and to be inspired by the thing that lights you up.
And is this the revolution of joy?
Yes, it is.
Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, and it's funny, when I started this, it was 2018, and literally everybody laughed at me. My friends laughed, people were laughing at me, like, what are you talking about, joy? And, you know, it was real time. We were locked in our houses. There was a lot of injustice in the world. And even to me, it felt light in the ass in moments, but I knew that we needed more than anything to feel different in our bodies again, to even feel our bodies, to even know that we're all connected with our brain, our heart, our etheric body. It's all one thing,
It's
just
all
different
one
parts.
thing, yes.
So that is a full-time job. And when we have enough trust in ourselves to lean into that, all the other things come from it.